What does it take to rise against towering odds? What does it mean to conquer challenges that seem insurmountable? Around us, hidden in quiet corners, or emblazoned in public triumphs, are stories of extraordinary perseverance. These stories teach us that resilience is not just a trait, it's a choice. Today we explore real tales of grit, determination, and the unbroken human spirit. These are stories that inspire us to rise and that prove, even in life's darkest moments, we can emerge stronger than ever. Let's begin. It was a freezing winter's night in Anchorage, Alaska, when 27-year-old Maria Campbell found herself stranded in the aftermath of losing everything she owned to a devastating fire. With no family close by, no home to return to, and only a coat to shield her against the biting cold, most people would have fallen under the weight of despair. Born to immigrant parents who taught her the value of hard work, Maria had watched her family struggle to make ends meet while planting dreams of success in her heart. She had envisioned becoming an engineer, someone who could solve real-world problems. When the fire consumed her apartment, the fire department discovered it wasn't an accident. It was part of arson. Insurers wouldn't cover her losses, and her savings had disappeared after paying her graduate school tuition shortly before the tragedy. She had nothing left. And yet that night, as Maria warmed herself in a nearby shelter, she made a promise to herself and to life. The next morning, Maria started calling every person who could offer work: restaurants, grocery stores, warehouses, anything that paid enough to buy a meal. Within days, she had secured a double shift at a nearby diner and found a small temporary room to stay in. Over the course of 3 years, she worked 12-hour shifts, picking up odd gigs repairing radio equipment to supplement her income. All the while, she never gave up on her studies, scraping together tuition money and sometimes walking miles to her classes just to save on bus fare. Fast forward to today, Maria Campbell stands as an innovator in clean energy solutions, with multiple patents to her name. Her work supports hundreds of communities across the United States that previously lacked access to affordable energy resources. Maria often says, "My perseverance burned stronger than the fire that tried to destroy my future." Hardship doesn't end journeys. It helps define how far you're willing to go. Maria rose. She conquered. Sometimes it's about the courage to keep breathing in the aftermath of heartbreaking loss. In the summer of 2014, 17-year-old Omar Rivera was looking forward to his senior year of high school when tragedy struck. A car accident claimed the lives of his father and younger sister, leaving him alone to care for his grieving mother. Overnight, Omar's life was completely transformed. He went from studying for the SAT to taking on the role of provider and protector in his household. Initially paralyzed by sorrow, Omar struggled to find his footing. The pain was overwhelming, not just in its intensity, but in its persistence. Every morning felt like waking up in the shadow of an agonizing truth, that the family he cherished would never be whole again. Unable to afford therapy and unwilling to burden friends with his grief, Omar channeled his feelings into something unexpected: running. He started with just half-mile jogs, often late at night when the sting of loneliness felt unbearable. It hurt, not only physically but emotionally, as every step reminded him of the life he once had. But in those moments, a realization emerged. Pain doesn't have to consume you. It can fuel you. By pouring his anguish into running, Omar found clarity. Over the course of 2 years, he turned those runs into marathons, dedicating each finish to his father and sister. He also started a foundation, appropriately named Steps Forward, aimed at supporting families affected by sudden loss, helping them rebuild their lives one step at a time. Today, Omar's marathon medals hang proudly in his mother's house, symbols of strength that grew from profound loss. Omar often reflects, "Through perseverance, I found a way to honor the ones I lost, not by holding on to pain, but by letting it push me forward." Omar rose. he conquered. The story of Jaya Patel, an artist from Mumbai, India, reminds us of the power of standing firm in the face of judgment. Born into a family of accountants, Jaya had always felt out of place, her heart drawn toward painting instead of balance sheets. But societal pressures were fierce, making it clear that art was no way to make a living. For years, Jaya set aside her passion, pursuing an accounting degree to appease her family. But deep down, she knew she wasn't living her truth. As her confidence waned, a pivotal moment arrived. During a tumultuous family gathering where she dared to speak her mind, Jaya declared she no longer wanted to live her life by someone else's expectations. Grappling with backlash and her family's disapproval, Jaya faced rejection after rejection while trying to exhibit her work in Mumbai's galleries.